so that might be average. What's going on, guys? Hey, look, it's springtime. The swim jig bite is about to heat up. So if you've followed me on any other platform and on YouTube, you've seen me catch fish on a swim jig. I've talked about it on TikTok, but let's break it down in this video, talk a little bit more about it, and see my setup, the different types of jigs that I like, and the different trailers that I like. So hopefully this will help you improve some swim jig fishing. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so if you're new to the channel or you're coming back to the channel, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. It helps the channel out. Yeah, I like making this type of content. I want to make some more fishing content soon. However, I just haven't been able to hit the water. So until then, smash that thumbs up for me, guys. All right, so let me start off with my setup. Now, this is the FX series rods. It's the Extreme Anglers. It's a 7-1 and medium heavy. I have it paired with a Shimano SLX. This is the 150 XG, an 8:5 to 1 gear ratio, and now I have braided line on it, 65-pound braid. I prefer a 65-pound braid. I don't never have any problems with breakage, anything like that. So that's just my setup. That's something that you're gonna have to play with. I'm a little bit shorter than most people. I'm like 5'8", so that might be average, but I'm like 5'8". A 7-1 allows me the maneuverability to skip it, and it also provides me the backbone that I need to set the hook. All right, guys, while I've got it right here in my hand, let me show you what I do. I do the Alabama shake. Most people know it as the Alabama shake. So this is what I do. I usually hold 3 fingers on the side of the finger grip with one on the back, and I'll let the butt of the rod rest on my forearm. So when I shake it, I do that little shake, the butt is actually recoiling off my forearm. It just kind of takes a little bit of the fatigue out, because if you're sitting here doing this all day and you don't have that rod hitting anything, it wears down on you a lot harder. So keep that in mind. Good little technique just to make it through the day, because 8 hours of doing that, you're gonna be tired. All right, now let's get into it. Now, there is a lot of different brands, different trailers, all that stuff that I'm gonna cover. I'll go through and I'll drop the links down below to kind of let you guys know what I like. Let's see here. This one right here. This one right here is the one that I used forever. I don't know if you can see that. Might be a little shiny on the packet, but that is the V&M Pacemaker. It is a great swim bait. However, it's not hand tied, so the rubber band will start to dry rot after a while, and you tend to lose your skirt a little quicker than, say, a hand-tied one. I've got a Brazalo right here, a hand-tied skirt. So when you're skipping the jig, undercover, stuff like that, the skirt material does not come off as easy. It still will after a while. If you fish a swim jig for a good 2 weeks solid, a lot of times you'll have to reskirt it. It's just part of the game. All right, now as far as in the spring, which we are in, I like to take, and I like to have either a black and blue, depending on the watercolor. I like the black and the blue, or like a green pumpkin, a brown. Danny makes at Brazalo, he makes a pattern. That's the sunfish. That is his Brazalo brim. All great choices. In the springtime, I feel like the fish are fattening up. They're getting ready for the spawn, and they want that larger forage, whether it be crawfish or whether it be brim. Now, you can still throw a shad pattern. I've got these two right here. It's a great choice, and I do find myself a lot of times throwing that shad pattern just because I like to take and kind of keep it subsurface and watch it, and you can just see them annihilate it. It is a violent strike. It's fun to watch. And it can be really fun, especially this time of year when they start getting really active. Hey, there you are. Let's talk about trailers. All those are good options. Now you can do just about any trailer you like. There's two concepts that I keep in mind when I'm looking at trailers. And when I say you can do any trailer you want, this right here is a Zoom Lizard with the head cut off. And if you watch, I can take and just put it through the top and kind of skim it down to about where it should be. And if you notice, that right there will get the job done. Now, I usually like for these bottom tentacles just to be just underneath the skirt to give it a little action. So the two things that I keep in mind though on a swim jig is I keep in mind the color. If you notice, this was a sapphire blue. It kind of offset this brim color. I like to offset. It gives the fish something different that not everyone else is throwing. A lot of people is going to throw a white on white swim jig. White swim jig with a white trailer. It's all the time. They see it all the time. This right here gives it a little contrast, a little flash. It changes it up. All right, so this right here is going to sink a little slower than this right here. So you have to keep that in mind. A trailer that I've used a lot is the Strike King Menace from the Rage Menace, Strike King Menace. I don't have any in the garage, so I'll post it, a picture of one side or the other. Too lazy to go to the boat, just to be honest. But that is a good bait, a good trailer that I like. Now, if you have this paddle tail style swim bait, it's going to sink a lot faster. So if you're fishing submerged vegetation in 8 to 10 foot of water, this might be the route you want to go. If you're fishing very shallow, you might want to fish something that's got a little more surface space so it slows down the send to the bottom. Just two things to keep in mind: color and body style. Now let me show you this. This right here is the Jester from J-Bros. I've got it on to give me a lot slower to send, so this bait right here is going to sink a lot slower than one with a straight tail or a swim paddle tail type trailer. So that's a pretty cool little trailer that I'm trying out. I've not used it very much, but I think it's going to be killer, especially in the spring when they get on that bluegill pattern. All right, now that pretty much covers all the things to do with a swim jig. Now, I'm gonna fish a swim jig a lot because I can get in that thick cover where I can't really get with a chatterbait. I can kind of buzz it through the dollar lilies, or the Coosa grass as we call it. It'll swim right through it. Most of the time you can swim it over top of it, and it's almost like a frog bite, how they come out so violently and try to attack it. They will try to annihilate it. So keep that in mind. If you're noticing the fish are deeper in the grass or thick in the cover, a swim jig is the way to go. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. It helps the channel. If you're new, subscribe for me. I'm gonna put out some fishing content soon. Hopefully I'm gonna get out on the Alabama River within the next few days, and I can put a swim jig to work. Until next time, guys, I greatly appreciate you watching, and let's go.